Fans, Peter Borkowski here on the Cougars Sports Network, bringing you this edition of Coaches Weekly. And once again, I'm joined by the head coach of the CUC baseball team, Coach Connor. Welcome back to the show, Coach. Excited to talk to you today.
Good to see you again, dude.
Good to see you too. And it was a good weekend for you and your squad. You headed over to Kentucky and took 2 out of 3 games against Center, who is a very successful program in their own right. You won both of the games on Saturday, dropped the Sunday game in extra innings, unfortunately. But let's just get your general takeaways, which from on paper looked like a really successful weekend for you and your squad.
Yeah, I think the nice thing is last week we talked about the work taking care of the results, and we talked about people that have done things the right way and followed the blueprint. They've had success, and we also talked at the beginning of the year that when we put it together, we can play with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Center receiving votes in the top 25 this week, so to play a good opponent at home, that's a big deal, or at their place was a big deal, and then just to kind of to stay in there with them all 3 games. Game 3, we hurt ourselves obviously a little bit in that game, but to win 2 out of 3, there was a lot of good takeaways from the weekend in terms of putting it together in all the phases that we needed to. So you love the win on the getaway day. Overall, it's a good weekend. We just got to continue to figure out our identity, to channel all of our energy in the right places, and then just we got to get in a spot where it's time to go now. Conference play starts this weekend, so there was some good stuff to take away, but we have to continue to show up and put the work in every day.
Right, and one of those pieces of identity you're talking about that was on full display against Center was the bullpen was absolutely excellent through all 3 games. If I'm correct, there was only 1 earned run allowed between the bullpen on all 3 games. So, what's kind of led to the success in that department? Because, we talked about pitching was, a place of struggle last year for the team. And this year, the bullpen, the back end of the pitching has been, pretty immaculate. I think you mentioned some of the guys last week. Bryce Jones has been really good. Anthony Polano has been really good. Dave Dimling has shown in moments. And, you could go on and on with the guys who are producing the bullpen. So, what's really led to the success in that department, which I'm sure is a big advantage for you? It's a big advantage for any team, of course, to have a lockdown bullpen.
Yeah, I think there's several factors that can contribute to that, but I think just the first part is if those guys are holding it down for us offensively, we're going to get ourselves in a spot to allow us to win games. The big part is just they've developed an identity that's pretty cool. They call themselves the night shift. So with that, it's they clock in, they clock out. That's like kind of their thing. So in baseball, especially in college baseball, a lot of people view the bullpen as like a demotion or a bad place to be. We try to make it where that's the best place to be.
Right.
A lot of people, once you get the starter out, usually the fall off is pretty significant in terms of what you're putting on the field. I think for us, just with the depth we've had and the guys that have been able to establish themselves, the guys you alluded to, and then Richie Gomez and Dylan Ferraro, and you have 5, 6, 7 guys that can go an inning at a time. They can throw back-to-back days, and they can get consistent reps, and they can be in high leverage spots, and we can do some matchup stuff. So we've learned with our depth, if we can offset guys, if you can go like a younger, older, or alternate arms, or find guys that have differing stuff, that's been the benefit for us. And I think the biggest part is just the mentality of it. The work is important and all that stuff, but it gets to a point when you just treat it like you're better than the guy that you're facing. Right. And I think that's why they've had success up to this point.
Well, you guys were back in action yesterday. You traveled to North Park University, and unfortunately, you guys got run ruled in 7 innings. North Park, they have a good record as well. They're a successful team. But what I wanted to focus on is this is really your guys' first game in the immediate area. First weekend you're in St. Louis, and you're in Florida. This past weekend you're in Kentucky. So what are some of the differences that approach this team? And it's good you got out of the way now because obviously conference play is going to be around here as well. But just coming back to the Chicagoland area, to the Midwest kind of, and playing a game, just what was that like compared to the last 3 stretches of play where you've been in vastly different areas?
Yeah, it was our first midweek day, and like you alluded to, North Park is playing good baseball. They're well coached. They do a lot of the little things really well, and they're really swinging it right now. I think that from our end, we thought we were just going to show up and be able to go through the motions, and obviously you saw that, that really hurt us where we went consecutive innings, giving up a run. We had 15 free bases. We made 3 errors, and not to get on the negative side, but after the game, we had a real nice, serious talk about who we're going to be, what our identity is and what our goal is every day. When you play well and you beat a good team, you have to show up. You know, we talked about last week, when we lose like we did yesterday, you have to show up. So it's just understanding that it gets to a certain point in the year, which is right now, when you have no more time for it to develop the way you need to. You have to take the work seriously, you have to take the practice seriously, and when you get beat, you have to reflect on it. When you play well, you have to continue to do it. So it goes back to the idea of, you know, channeling our energy in the right spots. If the umpire's zone is tough, we have to find a way to adjust to it. If guys are getting hits, we have to find a way to pitch and to get them out. If we're getting routine ground balls, I don't care what the circumstance is, we have to find a way to control the things that we can control.
Right.
So that conversation after the game yesterday was one that just needed to be talked through. It's one that needed to be expressed. This is not supposed to be a 500 year for us. You know, we're supposed to take the step forward and win games, which we talked about yesterday. Now, we just need to do the things that we can do and get ourselves in a spot going into conference play.
Right. Well, like you said, conference play is coming up. You guys play St. Norbert in a doubleheader here at Concordia on Sunday. And the biggest thing that you've been harping on through this series of interviews is just the consistency of being able, like you said, go in, day out, and just perform well. And now that conference play is here, these are the games that really matter. What's it going to take to be able to, like you said, channel that consistency? What's it going to be in, practice every day, even the off days, whatever it is? Just what does it need to happen? What needs to happen for this team to find that consistency so you can have a successful tenure in conference play?
Yeah, I think the number one biggest part is just follow the blueprint. Listen to what we're trying to give you, but also create that identity amongst each guy as you learn what you're trying to do. Every guy is different. Every path is different, but we have an idea of what it looks like, so to follow along with that is a huge part of it. And I think the biggest and best part is, it's a kid's game. It's supposed to be fun. Competing is fun. The work that you put in is fun, because at the end of the day, when you graduate after 4 years, you never want to look back and wish it was this or wish it was that. Guys get done, and the farther away they get from it, the more you miss it, so it's just getting them to understand that it's a big deal what we're going through, but also we don't need to make it a bigger deal than it is. I think is just the best way to put it.
Right.
And just the work and the journey and the up and down. I mean, Heidelberg's like 11-4 right now. Lawrence is like 10-3. North Park's 11-6. Center's receiving top 25 votes. TC&J is receiving top 25 votes. So we've played 5 to 7 teams that are really good teams. We've done this a little bit as a team this year, but when we look back at the end of the year, if we've handled our business the way we need to, that journey is going to be a little bit sweeter.
Right. Well, conference play opens up for baseball this Sunday right here at Concordia University, Chicago. They play St. Norbert College at 12 and 3 p.m. Coverage for both those games can be found at our website, cucougars.com, and the live stream can be found on our YouTube page, CUC Sports. Coach Connor, thanks again for joining me today, and good luck starting conference play this Sunday. Look forward to talking to you again next week. But until then, this is Peter Borkowski signing off of the Cougars Sports Network and wanting to say, as always,
Hello, I'm Dr. Russell Dawn, President of Concordia University Chicago. Thank you for tuning in to today's Cougar Athletics broadcast. We take great pride in the strength of both our athletic and academic programs, which are rooted in our steadfast commitment to Jesus Christ. Dedicated to the liberal arts as a foundation of a high-quality college degree, we believe education should form individuals for service to their neighbors. This makes Concordia Chicago an exciting and fulfilling place to study, work, learn, and grow. Learn more today by visiting cuchicago.edu. Thank you, and go Cougars!
O'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Cougar Sports Network. We are here in River Forest for a nice, sunny, but chilly doubleheader game day here. Cougars taking on the Division Street rival Dominican Stars. Little midweek conference action. My name is Kayla McLeod. I will be on the call with you today, joined by my Assistant Director of Athletic Communications, Sydney Palacios-Laher.
I'm excited to be here. This is going to be fun.
It's a beautiful day here. A little bit chilly, like I said, but, you know, any day to play baseball is a great day. Cougars coming off a monstrous win yesterday at Wheaton College, playing one single non-conference game. Cougars came away with the 18-8 win. So looking to keep that momentum going here today. Cougars also kicked off conference play this past Sunday. They took on the St. Norbert Green Knights, where they split with them on the day. So Cougars looking to jump ahead here in conference action.
Coming off of a big win like they did yesterday, I mean, the Cougars already coming in today's, they're going to have a ton of momentum. So we're really looking to see. They had some big bats yesterday, 18-8. So love to see that again today in the Thunderdome.
Absolutely. We've got a freshman arm here for the Cougars in Xavier Zagerman, getting his first career start here. Been a fairly new arm for the Cougars. We've seen him appear in the field before we saw him on the mound at all. Now working from the mound. Zagerman's made 2 appearances so far. As quickly he falls to an 2-0 count, but gets this one to pop up. Boswell backtracking in the outfield, can't grab it. Looks like he lost it in the sun a little bit. So Phillips able to get to second off of that.
Something to note today, too, here at the Thunderdome, it's pretty windy outside, and, I think that's really going to play into how any of those balls, especially for Zagerman. I mean, as a pitcher, you're already going to see a lot of balls in the air. You're going to see a lot of pop-ups into the outfield and the infield, so that wind's going to make a huge determinant. I mean, Dominican's already taking advantage of it, taking what should have probably been either an out or a single. Now they've got a runner in scoring position.
Absolutely. Brings up Zachary Heline for the Stars here. As that one low and in the dirt. Heline hitting a .304 this season for the Stars. Started and appeared in every game so far.
Heline's got the 4th highest batting average on this team for the Stars, so having him in the 2 spot, I mean, already you're going to have somebody who's going to be able to move the runners around, and that's what the Stars are going to look to do right now, especially this matchup, the Division Street rivalry, these two teams, these two schools. It's a heated rivalry all the time, so wanting to take advantage of that early is what they're going to look to do right now.
Absolutely. Last year, Cougars and the Stars faced off in the Cougars' last home game of the season. Cougars pulling off that Division Street sweep, so the Stars really looking to kind of bounce back here as Zagerman quickly delivers that one in the dirt. Facing a 3-0 count now. One thing to note about this Cougar pitching squad, a lot of young arms here. I mean, yesterday, 10 arms threw in the game against Wheaton. Everybody throwing for an inning or less, but a lot of young pitchers for this team. As Zagerman makes his first walk of the day. Quickly, runners on first and second. Not really how you're looking to start this inning here. Still no outs, and you've already got 2 runners on base.
For the pitching staff, too, I mean, you're talking about a freshman right now that's on the mound in a huge game for the Cougars, for conference, for rivalry implications, and for start off like this, the nerves are probably there a little bit right now, so hopefully he's able to zone back in right here and start off with a strike.
Absolutely. Matt Galdi, the first baseman here for the Stars at the plate, as that ball sinks low for ball 1.
We were talking about the bullpen for the Cougars, known as the night shift, is what they're going as now. So we might see some other pitchers coming out of the bullpen clocking in, as they say, to come to the night shift and come in for the Cougars. But for now, Zagerman's hopefully going to be able to jump in here just like that and get a foul tip.
Absolutely. I mean, that's all you got to do right now if you're Zagerman. You're just looking to get them swinging. If you throw strikes, let your field do the work. If you're going to throw strikes, let the team help you out. You just got to get that ball in there. Can't have another walk like this and load the bases up. Like you mentioned, the night shift, a fun nickname coined by the Cougar bullpen. They looked to give themselves a nickname, and like you said, clock in, clock out. Those guys, typically in the past, they've been doing, each of those guys throws an inning. They get in there, they do their job, and they get out, and that's it's exactly what you want to see out of a bullpen, especially when you've got, like I said, a bunch of young arms. Just giving them short bursts of experience is exactly what they need. As that ball gets past Brandon Mahler, and we're going to see the runners advance there.
I mean, for Dominican right now, having 2 runners, second and third, with no outs, this is exactly what they're dreaming up in their game plan before coming to the Thunderdome today. So for them, this is a great place for them to be at, and I mean, 2-1 already to start, so we'll see what they do with that.
Zagerman working in a little bit of a pinch here, needing to get some movement here, as that one is high for ball 3.
Galdi has the second highest batting average on this team, too, so you're not really going to want to give him anything too close to the plate, but right now, this umpire, he's not calling anything low in the zone at all, it seems, for Zagerman.
So quickly, Dominican sees the bases loaded. Still no outs here.
Batting fourth,
Bringing up
third baseman, number 15,
Nico Kreku, who's hitting a .302 this season. in a really, really good spot. Bases loaded. A base hit here, scores 1, maybe 2.
He's got 11 RBIs on the season as well, something to really point out at this point in time because, well, hitting that ball out into left field pretty far back.
Cajigas able to glove it all the way at the fence, but we're going to see Phillips tag up, and Phillips is going to score. Runners safely advancing on that. But so Stars score first. Like you said, those RBIs is exactly what he's in that position to do, and quickly the Stars take the lead.
We're already having a little bit of a deja vu moment again for the Stars as we've got runners on second and third now with just 1 out, but we've got Kalikas up to bat, and really looks like the Stars came out with the game plan.
Absolutely, as Zagerman throws his first strike there. First time of the day. He's been ahead in the count. 0-1 as he gets set. Delivers that one just a bit upstairs.
I think for a pitcher like Zagerman, too, you're trying to establish a zone early on in the game, and the umpire right now, at least from what I'm saying, I mean, high pitches in, I mean, he's really just honing in on the center of the zone.
Absolutely.
So really depending on what type of umpire you get on what you're going to get called, but those borderline pitches like the one that Zagerman just threw got called for a ball, and that's going to be a really telltale sign to see how the rest of the day plays out, because if the umpire is getting the pitchers in to throw straight down the middle of the plate, we're going to see a lot more action out of both offenses.
Absolutely, something that Zagerman's going to have to adjust to here, as, like you said, he's throwing those borderline pitches and not getting those calls. So he's got to adjust exactly what he did there, get him swinging, and find that zone and get those calls. A 2-2 count now. Runners on second and third. So that ball misses low. Zagerman unhappy about that. Thought that he was able to catch that.
Nope,
Oh, he did get it. He did get it. Sorry, I'm a little obstructed here in this view here. Gets him there. So quickly picks up the second out of the inning.
Batting sixth.
That umpire's delay call really threw us off up here in the booth, but, you know, we were able to catch it, so
Yeah,
that's
so-
all that matters.
No, great call, great call. Our Cougar press box, I'm sitting right in the middle of a pole, so kind of bouncing around a little bit as Zagerman pops that one up. First baseman Kasich calling for it, tracking it down, and able to successfully get the out. That's exactly what you wanted out of Zagerman to get out of that inning. Pop that ball up, make your infield do the work. So Stars take the 1-0 lead, but Cougar bats have their opportunity to get hot coming up. We're going to take a quick break here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Cougars coming to bat.
Back here on the Cougar Sports Network. Bottom of the first inning, Cougars trailing 1-0 to the Stars. Leading off for the Cougars, Julio Cajigas looking to get things going here.
Cajigas was the third highest batting average on the team for the Cougars, hitting .328 this year with 15 games played and started.
Fouling that one back. Falling the 0-1 start here. Wind kind of picking up a little bit, blowing in, not really in favor of the Cougars here. Kalikas on the mound here for the Stars. Delivers that one. Wind actually knocking Kalikas' hat off in the middle of the pitch.
Something to know as we keep talking about the wind, looking at it right now, we've got 12 miles per hour blowing east. So it's picking up and coming in. I mean, we are pretty close to the Windy City, so playing into the name of that, you know, it's something that they're going to have to deal with. They're used to it, but it's really picking up today.
Yeah, CJ Kalikas on the mound, like I said, only 4 games started in his 5 appearances here for the Stars. Gets Cajigas swinging and gets the first out of the inning, bringing up Tyler Dorsch for the Cougars.
Batting second, the right fielder, number 23, Tyler Dorsch.
Tyler Dorsch, I mean, he's had an incredible year so far. He's hitting .321, 4th highest batting average on the team for the Cougars. But right now, I mean, the Dominican pitcher is able to really hone in on that zone that we were talking about last inning and is making some quick work to start.
As he delivers that one in there for strike 1. Like I mentioned, Kalikas only 4 games started, 5 appearances on the season, but one of the higher numbers on the team in terms of strikeouts, picking up 8 so far on the season. Also on the higher end of walks here for the Dominican pitchers. So the Cougars have proved to be really good this season at holding tight in their at-bats, you know, making the pitchers really work. On Sunday against St. Norbert, Cougar batters were averaging anywhere from 6 to 8 pitches in an at-bat, so really forcing those pitchers to put in the work and tire them out. As that one catches the outside of the plate for strike 2. A full count now for Tyler Dorsch.
For Dorsch here, too, he's got to make sure that if it's not a pitch that he wants, he's fouling it off and going after what he really is looking for, just like that. Really just making sure that he's getting his pitch to hit, because at this point in time, any momentum that the Cougars can get out of their at-bats is going to be a positive for them.
Absolutely. Dorsch struggled a little bit at the plate yesterday in the non-conference against Wheaton, only 1 for 5, looking to bounce back here as he sends that ball deep into center field. And that ball is gone! Bingo, bango, bongo, Tyler Dorsch easily gets the Cougars right back into this. We talked about waiting for your pitch, and let me tell you, Tyler Dorsch for sure waited for his pitch. And evens things up here. Talk about a momentum shifter, PL.
I mean, Dorsch right now, he's well ahead in the Cougar hitters for home runs now. That is his 5th of the season, and that ball was absolutely rocketed out of the park. The good thing today is softball's not on the other side of our fence here, so nobody over there probably getting hit by that ball at all, so it's a great day to start off like that.
Absolutely. That is for sure the danger zone in the softball field during these games as Brandon Mahler swings at strike 1.
Quickly 0-2. And, you know, something to note, too, Kalika's not letting that affect him. I mean, as a pitcher, when that happens, and it's going to happen, especially in the collegiate game, you've got to be able to bounce back. And he's already coming in 1-2 now, but coming in strong with those strikes. And something to note again, as we mentioned in the top of the first inning, this umpire strike zone, it's going to produce the offense with how tight that zone is.
Absolutely. This wind acting a little funny here, shifting directions. We saw it blowing out for Dorsch's home run. It's starting to pull a little bit towards right field now, so it's a little bit unpredictable. Anything can happen, and like you said, with this strike zone being pretty concise, you know, getting those hits, those balls are going to fly. As Brandon Mahler sends that one out but is going to be gloved by Christopher over in right field. And the Cougars quickly facing 2 outs.
I want to give a quick shout out too to one of the Cougar pitchers, Wyatt McLaughlin. He actually put up the flag that we are using to determine the wind direction today. He, one of our student workers as well here at the Athletic Communications Department. He really made sure that he got it up there for us, and it's big help. Big
Absolutely.
help for us.
Shout out Wyatt. Thank you for your assistance both on and off the field. As Michael Kasich looks at strike 1 here.
For Kalikas, he's got 19 innings pitched, so he's already had a good amount of time.
Ooh. A unfortunate position there as that ball just in reach of Galvin over at short. So a little bit further over to either direction, and I think that ball might have slipped through to the outfield and been a base hit, but just in reach there. So Stars able to quickly get out of that inning, and, Cougars able to tie things up with just 1 hit there. So we're back at an even ball game as we head to the top of the 2nd. Don't go anywhere as we get ready for some more baseball action here in River Forest. Back here in the top of the 2nd, Cougars tied things up after a monster Tyler Dorsch home run.
Bingo, bango, bongo, as I would say.
You know what, PL? I think that might be as I would say. But exactly, that is exactly it. Zagerman still working here on the mound for the Cougars. Delivers ball 1. A nice full crowd here at the Thunderdome, considering it is a Wednesday afternoon. Little bit chilly, but nobody can really resist an opportunity to be outside watching some baseball. As that ball is hit deep into center field, Hickman tracks it back, but that ball is also out of here. A monster hit. Hickman actually stopped probably about 5 to 10 feet from the fence and just watched it sail over to the softball field. And the Stars take the lead.
Well, I think this is a good test for Zagerman right now. Again, he's a freshman. This is his first time really getting the start on the mound. And what is he going to do to make a big difference between how Kalikas responded last inning after Dorsch's home run? That's what we're really going to be looking for here out of Zagerman.
Yeah, absolutely. Something important to note there. That was actually Nalbono's first home run of the season. A 242 hitter for the Stars, and got some work done there. As Zagerman now facing a 1-1 count. That ball fouled straight back off the netting. Gabe McCall at the plate here for the Stars.
Gabe McCall 222 batting average this year. This is his 9th game played so far, but 3 RBIs to boot and 4 hits. So he's had some time out there, been able to get some hits, so we'll see what he does here.
That ball sinks low and inside, so we've got a full count now, no outs still. Cougars looking to minimize the damage from the Stars after a lead-off home run. And McCall's going to take that quick walk there.
Something to note out of this Stars lineup that we've noticed here on the Cougar Sports Network is that their number 1 hitter, Grayson Downing, is not in the lineup today. 404 batting average, leading the conference in a handful of statistical categories. So very interesting to not see him today. And so far, the Stars don't seem to be doing too bad. I mean, already at a 2-1 lead here in the top of the second. So we'll see if that is something that will be indicative for them or if they'll be able to continue to thrive without their number 1 hitter.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point. I mean, like you said, the Stars seeming to be doing all right without Downing in the lineup. Quickly, a passed ball puts a runner in scoring position over there on second. A base hit here from Galvin easily scores McCall. As Zagerman gets set here.
So those high spots that Zagerman's really zoning into, that is just not where the umpire is wanting to call right now. So he's got to be able to find those areas. Last inning, we saw a lot of inside-outside calls in the middle of the zone, so that's really going to be where Zagerman wants to hone in onto his strike zone.
That one low. A 3-0 count now. Brandon Mahler behind the plate, able to keep that one in front of him. As that one is in there for a strike.
And that's the place that Zagerman wants to live right now, especially for those inside spots. I mean, we're looking at where the Dominican Stars are standing in the box. They've got their toes on the line, so they're trying to eliminate that as much as possible. So he's really got to zone in on that spot and not be afraid to get as close to those batters as possible.
Absolutely. As Zagerman delivers another walk, we're going to see head pitching coach Matt Smith take a second and go talk to his freshman pitcher. PL, if you are Coach Smith and you're going out there to talk to your pitcher, what are you saying to him right now to calm him down?
I mean, right now, especially with Zagerman being as young as he is, this is a little bit of a freshman moment. He's probably pretty nervous. I mean, being in the Thunderdome, this is a big-time arena. This is a lot of fun. It's pretty packed today with it being as cold as it is. So for him, it's just going out there and reminding him that he can do this. He was given the ball for a reason. I mean, for him right now, he's done a decent job out there for the few times that he's come out in his appearances. So being able to understand that is super important. And Coach Smith just reminding Zagerman that he's got all of the confidence in him.
Absolutely. There are a few arms making some movement in the Cougar bullpen, but Coach Smith keeping the confidence in this youngster here, letting him work through this little bit of adversity and try to get himself into a groove. As Phillips back at the plate for the Stars. Back to the top of the lineup here. Showing bunt. Pulling back for ball 1.
Looks like on that bunt, looks like Crater is not crashing at all over there at third base. So Kasich, the only one up the line, so it's going to be up to Zagerman to hold down the third base line entirely. It looks like they're really just trying to limit the first and second base runners to advance at all. Just really trying to keep the damage to a minimum right now.
Absolutely. As Zagerman looks to throw back, and the throw a little off target, unable to catch McCall there. Something we haven't seen a whole lot of yet this game, but the Cougars are very, very conscious of base runners. We've seen it a lot this season. They're always looking for those pickoffs. So to see, I think that might just be the second attempt that we've seen today so far, which is quite unusual for this Cougar squad.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing better than being able to get a runner when they're, just not paying attention. As a former first baseman myself, it's really fun. It really takes, and that's a momentum shifter because that's something that doesn't happen that often in the game. It's not something that's a typical out. So being able to stop a threat like that, that's huge for them. And the Cougars, like you said, are pretty good at it.
Absolutely. Another thing to note, Brandon Mahler behind the plate, looking like he was going to throw down after he caught that but bobbled the ball a little bit. Brandon Mahler himself has also caught a couple people off guard, with a quick throw down to first after a pitch. And handful of times this season he's successfully done it, and looking to probably do that again here. As Zagerman's facing the 3-0 count now. Runners on first and second, trying to limit this base advancement. As Mahler does make the throw down, but McCall is going to get back safely. But that was ball 4, so all runners are going to advance. And we've got bases loaded here as head coach Colin Connor is coming out to chit-chat with his infield. Probably see a pitching change here, as we will see a pitching change. So we'll get you guys Zagerman's final stat lines and some info on this new pitcher when we get back on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Dylan Ferraro on the mound for the Cougars, doing what he does best, throwing that first strike there. Ferraro, a freshman out of Windsor, Colorado.
Dylan Ferraro has had a great year so far for his first season with the Cougars. He's got a 4.5 ERA with 12 appearances on the years, 8 strikeouts and 7 walks, and 12 innings pitched overall. So he's got some great stat lines for his first year in the maroon and gold.
Yeah, absolutely. Zagerman closing his time on the mound, giving up 2 runs, 2 hits, and 5 walks, unfortunately, facing 10 batters. So a quick outing for the freshman, but a lot of time to bounce back here. With bases loaded, no outs here.
This is a great pitching change, too, from head coach Colin Connor, because the looks that you get from Ferraro versus Zagerman is entirely different. Ferraro is going to go straight into the strike zone. He's not afraid to get on to those, side pitches and things that he's looking for. But, it's a great look, but already starting off with a walk, and the Stars are able to score another run.
Absolutely. An unfortunate situation for Ferraro to walk into with bases loaded already, but needing to get out of this slump here. Get some outs, make your infield do the work, force these batters to hit into some ground balls, and get things moving here for the Cougar defense. As Galdi takes a massive hack at that one.
I think something to note that you brought up, Kayla, is something super important right now, is that you've got to induce ground balls at this point. With how the wind is moving today, with how unpredictable it is, you really want to hone in on getting the ball on the ground rather than in the air. And obviously, we've seen now, if the ball gets too high up, the wind's going to carry it out of this park. So making sure that they're getting to the bottom of the strike zone, getting those ground balls wherever they can, that is where the Cougars are going to be able to really hone in and take down the Stars.
Absolutely. Another thing, the Cougars need to throw some strikes here. The balls to strikes ratio is a little bit heavy towards the balls, as we've seen a handful of walks already. In order to get those ground balls, you need to throw strikes. Let the batters hit, let the fielders do the work. As quickly we're at a 3-1 count here. And for our walks, Galdi for another run here. And the Stars go up 4-1.
For the Stars right now, they're doing exactly what they should be. They're seeing a little bit of a riled up staff right now out of the Cougars, and they are being extremely patient at the plate. This umpire is not giving any borderline pitches at all.
As Kretsu gets that one past Crater, but Boswell able to glove it. So a nice hard hit ball for Kreku, but runners are going to move around.
And unfortunately for Ferraro, he did his job right there. But, you know, sometimes as a pitcher, you get a little bit unlucky. You get those blue pits, you get those grounders that are just right in between your fielders. So it's good to see him being able to get a positive reaction out of that pitch.
Absolutely. Like we said a couple minutes ago, that's exactly what you want to do. Hit those make those batters hit those ground balls. And it's a situation where if you don't have bases loaded, you're able to do some damage control with it. Unfortunately, with a couple walks in there, bases were loaded and able to easily score a run off of that. But Ferraro starting to find his groove here and hopefully shift this momentum for the Cougars. As that ball finds the gap, Dorsch able to grab that in right field. But again, runners are all going to make their way around the bases. And what an inning for the Stars. So far 5 runs scored in this inning with no outs, and you still have bases loaded here.
I think for the Stars right now, what they've really done is they've honed in on what they're good at, and they're only going after the pitches that they excel in. Because right now, again, this strike zone is limiting those borderline pitches. When you're a pitcher and you're going after somebody and you get ahead in a count, you're really looking to go after those borderline pitches to either get a swing or get an unexpected strike 3 call. And that's not really something that's coming up right now for the Cougars. So now what they have to do is they have to throw into the zone. And the Stars are really taking advantage of that.
Absolutely. As Christopher's now sitting at an 0-2 count, popped up a sky-high ball to first baseman in the first at-bat and strikes out here. Ferraro picks up the first out of the inning, potentially shifting some momentum here for the Cougars.
Well, that was a huge moment for Ferraro with his pitch selection, because that last pitch was absolutely a chase pitch, and he got Christopher to bite. So that's really what he's going to be looking to do for the rest of these Dominican batters, is get them to chase the pitches. Because if you can't do that, this strike zone, he's not getting a lot of wiggle room. So it's going to really come down to pitch selection and how he's going to throw these in the right spots.
Absolutely. Now Bono at the plate now for the Stars. Hit that monster home run to center field in his first at-bat. Wind shifted a little bit since then, but Ferraro still has to be cautious here as bases are loaded. You can't really afford to give up that same chance again here for now Bono. But a 2-1 count for Ferraro, as he, like you said, he's got to hone in, he's got to find that, and he's got to be able to throw these balls to force ground balls instead of letting that ball get in the air.
Ferraro, too, I mean, he is known for being a strike pitcher. He's known for getting the ball in the zone when he needs to, so that's really where he's going to excel, just like that. He's really starting to tune in now, and I think that that's going to be a huge momentum changer for the Cougars. Get them out of this inning and get them back to the plate.
As Ferraro gets set for this one, that ball is going to make its way out to center field. Hickman with the diving catch, and he gets it. What an athletic play, but Galdi able to tag up and tack another run on for the Stars. All the other base runners are going to stay where they're at. So for the first time in a handful of minutes, the Stars don't have bases loaded.
I think something to point out too, earlier in the first inning, we watched the Stars take advantage of situations like that.
As that ball gets lifted out into center field, Hickman tracks it at the wall. It's going to bounce off the top of the fence, and we're going to see 2 runners score off of that. McCall holding at second. But again, that wind shifting just a few minutes ago really makes a change in that, because if that wind was still blowing out, that easily could have been another home run.
I mean, like we've been saying this entire inning, the Stars are not afraid to swing it, and they are going after those pitches that are being left a little too close to the plate. But for the Cougars pitching staff, they're not able to really go on those borderline pitches without it getting called a ball. And I think the Stars have done a really good job of adjusting to that and making sure that they're only getting the pitches that they want.
Absolutely. So 2 outs here. Ferraro delivers that one in there for a strike. Stars doing some serious damage so far, but the opportunity here for Ferraro to close things out. A runner over on second, but it seems as though Ferraro is going to focus here on the batter as Galvin looks at strike 2.
That's a great look from Ferraro to see him come back from a pitch like that and go immediately 0-2 in the count. That is huge out of your freshman.
Absolutely. As Ferraro delivers that one, that ball is going to be hit out into left field, drop into shallow left. Cahigas chasing it, but can't get it in time, and McCall's going to score from second. So Galvin doing exactly what he needed to do and keeping this inning alive for the Stars. Base hit after base hit is going to keep things moving despite having 2 outs. And we're going to see the top of the lineup here again for the Stars.
Right now for Phillips, he's 1 for 1 right now. He had a walk and as well as a double, so he's not afraid to swing the bats. We're going to see if that's what we're going to get out of him or if he's going to have a more structured approach.
As he swings at that first pitch, popped high into left field. Cahigas tracking it and is able to grab that one in, and finally the Cougars get themselves out of this inning. The Stars on top of the Cougars, a monstrous 10-1 after a 9-run inning. So Cougars got some work to do as we head into the bottom of the second. Don't go anywhere here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, Tyler Crater leading things off for the Cougars. A monster inning for the Stars, taking the 10-1 lead. As Crater looks at strike 1. Kalikas still working on the mound here for the Stars, doing fairly well, holding the Cougars to 1 run in the first inning. As that ball low for ball 1.
I think for the Cougars right now, they've got to take the same approach that the Stars have been doing all game. They have got to be patient up there at the plate because the strike zone is going to be the same way. However, Kalikas is really able to hone into that zone, and so they're just going to have to be able to determine what are their pitches and what are not their pitches today.
Absolutely. Crater catching a piece of that one, fouling it back. A 1-2 count now. Got to stay alive here. Again, a great leave there, evening the count at 2. The delivery here. Crater swings, catches a piece of that. That ball's high and back. And that ball is out of here on Division Street. Tyler Crater wastes no time in getting the Cougars to start their climb back here as he sends that ball high across Division Street. Quickly, the Cougars now working their way back.
Crater, that's just his second home run of the year, so a huge look for him. And for them, this is still the Cougars' only first time through the lineup. So for him to be able to see that, him and Dorsch as well, both the Tylers being able to really take advantage of those pitches.
Jake Mahler at the plate now for the Cougars. Looking at strike one, Mahler had a phenomenal day yesterday in the win over Wheaton. Went 4 for 4 at the plate, picking up a double and a triple in the midst of that. So, again, looking to keep things going here, building off that momentum from that home run from Crater. Try to keep things working.
Out of this lineup, Jake Mahler's got the highest batting average at 444.
As that ball is hit hard over to third, Kreku unable to grab that without a little bit of a bobble, and Mahler's going to make his way to first. Bringing up Yashawn Boswell to the plate.
The shortstop, number 18, Yashawn Boswell.
Boswell's really known for his speed out there on the field. So if he can get on base and we can get some back to the top of the order, or even Rensberger and Hickman, who are just next on the Cougar lineup, that's going to be huge for the Cougars. They need some speed on the bases to be able to take some of those extra opportunities and start to get this score back in their favor.
Absolutely. Boswell looking to bunt there, sends it foul. Mahler with a small lead off there over on first. Boswell takes strike 2. Cougars needing to make the most of this inning.
Kalikas is not afraid to go straight into the zone, and I think that's been huge for him so far this game. I know we're only 2 innings in, but the command that he's having on the zone right now has been what has kept the Cougars down.
Boswell catching a piece of that ball, sending it foul, keeping himself alive in this at-bat. As Kalikas gets set for the 0-2 pitch, Boswell sends that one up, but Nalbono able to glove it and turn the double play quickly. The Cougars now facing 2 outs.
We got Rensberger coming up now. Rensberger so far this year, 308 batting average. He's had 6 appearances, 13 at-bats, 4 hits. But he has had 2 home runs, so a heavy hitter for the Cougars. And again, right now, especially after a play like that from the Stars, they're really looking to get this offense rolling and start a rally.
One of Rensberger's home runs on the season coming in yesterday's win, so having himself a stellar week as he takes strike 1. Like you said earlier, interesting to note the Cougars still in their first time through this lineup, you know, needing to get things moving and get these batters back up. You're looking to get your big swingers kind of in that groove, as we've already seen a handful of Dominican batters making great hits in multiple appearances at the plate today, as Rensberger swings through that one for a 2-2 count.
I think for Rensberger and Hickman right now, they're looking to get on base so we can roll around to the top of the lineup, because now at this point, Cajigas, Dorsch, Mahler, Kasich, they'll all be getting their second at-bats against Kalikas. So that's going to be huge for them to be able to get back in there and get another look at him, especially for both the Tylers, again, who have now had home runs on the day.
Absolutely. Well, the delivery here low and away for a full count now. 2 outs here. Rensberger looking to keep the Cougars alive in this at-bat. As he leaves that one for ball 4. Again, great selection in forcing Kalikas to pitch to Rensberger instead of waiting.
That's exactly what the Cougars have to do. That is the type of at-bat that they're looking to have. Swing at the pitches that you know you're going to have a chance at and let the ones go by that you really do not want right now. Especially for a guy like Rensberger, he knows he's hot on the bat right now. So being able to be as determined in what he wants as possible.
Absolutely. Eli Hickman at the plate now for the Cougars. As he looked at ball 1 and takes ball 2 as well. Kalikas looking to get a little frazzled, throwing 2 pretty outside of the zone pitches.
Hickman's hit 333 this year so far. He's got 12 hits to his name, 4 doubles and 6 RBIs. So, and again, another speedy Cougar that we could have on the base paths. He's our starting center fielder, so known for his speed, known for being really aggressive on the base paths. So really having him out there is going to be very important. He leads the Cougars right now in stolen bases with 5. So, and he's getting himself on right now. And like I was mentioning before, being able to roll around to the top of the order, this is going to be a big moment for the Cougars to really try and take advantage of the Stars being caught off guard.
Yeah, Hickman took a quick 4-pitch walk. Kalikas a little bit frazzled on that, seeing his first left-handed hitter of the day, and threw 4 balls pretty outside of the zone, which has been unlike Kalikas so far as we've seen him today.
Cahiga's 0 for 1 so far. He had a strikeout in his first appearance. So now that he's seen him once and coming back through the order, we'll see what kind of changes that the Cougar hitters are going to make in adjustment to what Kalikas has given them so far.
Cougars this season, not a great team as far as working with 2 outs. They've struggled quite a bit at making some things happen when they've got 2 outs, and sitting in this situation right now, 2 outs, runners on first and second. You're needing to kind of break that spell a little bit and get things moving here. A base hit, just slowly working your way around. As Cahigas fouls that one back.
And Kalikas, again, you can see the ebb and flow of what a pitcher goes through sometimes throughout these games. I mean, again, we're still very early on, but this game has already been going on for a long time. Kalikas was on the bench while his team was having a great offensive inning, but he was out there for a bit, so maybe trying to come back out and a little bit cold from being on the bench for so long, and now he's starting to really come back into the zone.
Absolutely. That ball delivered in the dirt. Great job from McCall keeping it in front of him. Rensberger, not typically one to steal, but on a pass ball opportunity, we saw him score yesterday on a pass ball, so not afraid to get moving if there's an opportunity for it. So great job from McCall to keep that in front of him. As that ball is in there for strike 3. Cahigas looking at that one and is going to end the inning here. Stars minimizing the Cougar damage. Cougars getting 1 run off of a monster home run, but still trailing here by 8. Gonna look and see who we've got coming out on the mound for the Cougars. We're gonna have a bit of a pitching change. We'll bring you all of that information when we come back on the Cougar Sports Network.
Tyler, number 34, Zachary.
All right,
Eli.
back here on the Cougar Sports Network. Top of the third, new pitcher for the Cougars, number 32, Anthony Polano. Get you the final stat line for Ferraro as Polano hits the first batter on the first pitch.
Polano so far this year, he's got one of the best ERAs on the staff, 2.61 ERA on 8 appearances. He has 1 win to his name as well, 10.1 innings pitched,
First baseman,
5
number
runs given up,
16, Matthew
2 walks,
Galvin.
and 12 strikeouts, so a huge strikeout to walk ratio. And I think right now that is what the Cougars are calling for.
Absolutely, as Polano checks on Helene over at first. Ferraro, 1 inning pitched, giving up 5 runs off 4 hits, 1 strikeout, facing 9 batters. As Polano looks to make a difference here, and Mahler throwing down.
It's an extremely close call, though. I mean, Mahler really saw at the corner of his eye. He saw that runner creeping and just decided to take a chance. And him and Kasich, I mean, they've taken so many runners out this year so far with their pickoffs. So he was ready for that opportunity. It was really close.
It was really close. Polano delivers this pitch in there for strike 1.
An interesting statistic that we're seeing now that we're 3 innings into this game, the Stars have actually gotten every single leadoff batter on base. I think that's been huge for them because there isn't any working back issues for the Stars. They've just started off hot every single time they come out. So I think that's been a huge thing for what they're looking to get done here and taking advantage of the Cougar mistakes.
Absolutely. Galdi sitting with a 1-1 count now, looking for his first hit of the day. Walked in his first 2 appearances. As he sends that one over to second base, Mahler gloves it, sends it to Boswell. Boswell over to Kasich for the double play.
That was a huge play right there. And actually, something to note, Mahler actually tossed that with his glove instead of his hand, which was pretty nifty out of the second baseman, but able to turn that double play, and that is right there the momentum shifter that the Cougars needed.
Absolutely. Mahler, fairly new to this Cougar lineup, started off the season making his appearances mostly as a pinch hitter, and a few games ago able to work his way into the lineup as Kreku sends that one over to left field. But back to Mahler. Coming into that second base position and Boswell sliding over into shortstop, those two have been working really well as your middle infielders, and you saw that connection there on that double play, the two of them able to work well and successfully pull that.
Well, Boswell, prior to being at shortstop, was playing second base, so he knows exactly what Mahler's going through. He knows exactly what is needed out of him, so I think that's been super helpful.
As Kalikas drops that ball, and Polano able to throw it down and get the Cougars out of that inning. So only allowing 1 hit there, and that double play really being the momentum shifter. And the Cougars are looking to start their way back here as they get to head back behind the bats and get things going here. So we're gonna get the Polano's stat lines there as we come back into the bottom of the third. Don't go anywhere here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, bottom of the third inning, Tyler Dorsch leading things off here.
23, Tyler Dorsch.
Cougars still trailing by 8 as he looks at strike 1. Dorsch with the first home run of the day for the Cougars to put them on the board. As that one in the dirt for ball 1.
Dorsch obviously on his first at bat having that home run, so he's got 1 RBI and 1 run on the day so far.
Fouls that one back for a 1-2 count. Kalikas still working for the Stars. No reason to change momentum here, as he's done a fairly good job at holding the Cougars here.
Kalikas, I mean, he's known for going probably a little bit longer. If we can see what we're seeing out of his stat line, he's only had 5 appearances, but he's got 19 innings pitched. So already out of that, you know he's going to be going for multiple innings. And now that he's in his third time out there on the mound, we might see a couple more out of him before the Stars decide to go to another hand.
As Dorsch sends that one straight back, keeping himself alive in this at-bat. Full count now.
Perfect example of how the Cougars are being able to adjust up at the plate, already at a 3-2 count. This is exactly what head coach Colin Connor is going to want to get out of his hitters, is these patient at-bats that they're either drawing a walk, they're getting a quality at-bat or a quab, and they're able to get up there and really make adjustments at the plate compared to their first time up.
The catcher, number 9,
Absolutely.
Brandon Mallard.
Dorsch being selective on that. Thought about swinging at that last pitch, but decided to leave it and successfully got his way to first off of it. So a great choice there as Mahler swings at this first one, and that ball is going to be popped out of the glove of Christopher. A diving attempt, but unable to grab it. So Mahler going to get a single off of it. A little frustrated. I think he had a little tie up there with Galdi at first. Was hoping to potentially get a couple bags. Looks like he is going to get second. They're going to call obstruction there on Galdi, getting in the way of Mahler rounding first. So quickly runners on second and third with Kasich at the plate.
This is what you want to see out of this Cougar lineup. And, I mean, Dorsch saw that ball pop out of the right fielder's glove, and he immediately knew that he was going to third base. And I think that's some great heads-up running, because if you don't take advantage of that, you're going to leave it out there.
As Kasich's going to ground that one out, but Dorsch able to successfully score on that. Bring up Tyler Crater.
Third baseman, number 52, Tyler Crater.
Crater, another one with a home run on the day.
For Crater right now, he was the other Tyler who had a home run. So, again, hot bat so far today and looking to make some more damage. The Cougars are starting to chip away at that lead that the Stars made in the top of the second after giving them a goose egg in the top of the third. Now is their opportunity to try and really close that gap, whether it's taking the score over or just getting closer to make the Stars sweat a little bit.
2-0 count here for Crater. Mahler hanging out over on second. Crater swings at that one, catches a piece.
Right now, 2-1 count. Again, they're really being selective on what pitches they're going after and fouling off the ones that they don't like but might be right in that wheelhouse. And again, those borderline pitches, that pitch right there on with a different umpire, that might be a strike on the high part of the zone, but today that is not going to be the case.
3-1 count here for Crater. As he fouls that one back to make this a full count now.
Something to note, too, at least with Crater swinging at that pitch, those high strikes, that's how you're going to get the ball out of the park. So I think right now when they're seeing balls in the top half of the zone, they're going to be attacking it because of the wind the way that it is right now. That's what's going to get your runners moving. And Crater, again, already a hot bat today. Another home run to boot wouldn't hurt.
The delivery here. In there for strike 3. Crater thought he was getting ball 4. Super unhappy about that call, but that's going to bring up Jake Mahler here for the Cougars. 2 outs now, excuse me.
Mahler on his last at bat, 1 for 1 with a single. So again, just wanting to stay consistent. Doesn't have to be anything big, just something to get the runners moving.
As Mahler takes strike 1. That ball low for ball 1. Cougars consistent so far this game. We're seeing single runs in every inning. Looking to break that trend here if Mahler can keep this inning alive for the Cougars. His twin brother over on second, hoping to make his way home.
Kalikas this season, he's had 2 6-inning games so far for the Stars, so he could go for a long period of time. And reminder for those at home, this game is only going to go 7 innings. So that's almost a full complete game for the pitcher if he decides to go the rest of the way. So he has that opportunity, but he's also been known to do 2 to 3 innings as well. So we'll see what the Stars pitching coach and head coach decide to do here with Kalikas, as he has done a very good job of keeping CUC on their toes so far.
Absolutely, the 3-1 count here. Mahler swings, fouls it back, facing a full count now.
We'll see here if the other Mahler, Brandon, at second base, if he's going to be taken off on the pitch or not, because first base is still unoccupied. So if he is walked, Brandon might take advantage of that.
As Jake Mahler finds the gap, Brandon Mahler's going to round third, speedy, quickly going home, and he's going to successfully make it. A great base hit from Jake Mahler to send his brother home and tack on another run for the Cougars.
I'm going to call that right now and think that was a little bit of twin telepathy right there, because the way that Brandon just took off from that base, and he knew that he was going to make it home. So the aggressiveness out of the Cougars to be able to tack on another run and just have it within 6 runs between them and the Stars.
Absolutely, like you said, great little bit of twin telepathy there, but Cougars for the first time in this game scoring 2 runs in this inning. Boswell takes ball 1 in the dirt.
Boswell 0 for 1 on the day, so looking to make some moves right now and keep the momentum going for the Cougars.
That ball high for ball 2. A really good chunk of the Cougar lineup coming up to bat if Boswell can make his way safely to base. You've got Nick Rensberger and Eli Hickman next as that ball gets past McCall, and Mahler's going to make his way to second.
Three-0 count here, so Boswell, again, just wanting to be confident in there, and another runner on base wouldn't hurt for the Cougars.
And he takes it to get himself on base, puts 2 runners on for the Cougars, bringing up Nick Rensberger, but we're going to see a quick time here from the Stars. Coach Steve Hardman's going to come out and talk to his pitcher, settle things a little bit. Cougars operating with 2 outs. Kalik has been pretty solid for the Stars so far. Seeing some movement in the Stars bullpen, though.
It really comes down to what was their game plan going into today, because they've got to have those pitching changes ready to go with what they could be getting. But at least in this point in time, we'll see whether or not the Stars are going to keep Kalikas out on the mound for at least the remainder of this inning, or if they're going to bring in a new arm.
Absolutely. And Nick Rensberger is, he's a big swinger big hitter for the Cougars with some hard swings.
Designated hitter number 15.
Looking to
Rensberger.
get that momentum here for the Cougars.
Rensberger got walked in his last at bat, and if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure it was on four pitches straight up. So starting off with the strike already, we'll see if this is going to have a little bit of a different outcome between Rensberger and Kalikas.
So runners on first and second here, 2 outs. As he catches a piece of that and quickly with an 0-2 count.
Whatever the Stars coach said when he came out there, it's clearly working as Kalikas is already ahead of the count 0-2. So we'll see what he does with this next pitch.
Kalikas checking on Mahler at second, delivers that one outside. Eli Hickman on deck for the Cougars, the only left-handed batter, so we saw Kalikas struggle to pitch to him a little bit in Hickman's first at-bat, so hoping to make it there as Rensberger fouls that one back. Wind blowing straight out here at the Thunderdome, a great position for Rensberger to be in. We've mentioned it quite a few times, but that wind has been very problematic in some areas. It's changed direction, blowing harder at times than others, as that one's in there for ball 2. McCall keeping that in front of him. Mahler looked like he was ready to go if that got past him.
Mahler's already ready for some aggressive base running, and Boswell right behind him. I mean, you've got 2 people who are aggressive, speedy base runners right now. So if Rensberger can get a ball just in the gap, I think we're going to at least have 2 more runs for the Cougars.
Absolutely. Mahler 1 for 1 on stolen bases so far this season, as Rensberger takes that for ball 3, really forcing Kalikas to pitch to him here.
We get a 3-2 count with 2 outs right here, so we're probably going to see Mahler and Boswell taking off on this pitch, just wanting to take advantage of the count and the outs and getting ahead of this ball.
The delivery, Rensberger keeping himself alive, fouling that one back. Like you said, you saw Mahler and Boswell taking off on the delivery there, hoping to get some movement here. Rensberger still fighting through this at-bat as Kalikas delivers this one. Popped straight up, actually going outside of the net. Looked like it might have been dropping right in front of the Cougar dugout. Galdi coming in, tracking it all the way, but just over the top and out of play. So Rensberger keeping himself in this at-bat even more.
Really just fouling off the pitches that he doesn't want, waiting for Kalikas to try and go for the final blow and taking advantage of that strike.
Absolutely, and forcing Kalikas to pitch to him. I mean, this will be Kalikas' 9th pitch in this at-bat, so Rensberger really trying to wear him down a little bit as he sends that ball into the gap into right center. Exactly what he needed to do. Mahler's rounding third. Boswell is rounding third as well. Rensberger down at second. A fantastic double for Rensberger here to tack on 2 more runs for the Cougars.
And that is picture perfect what we just talked about a couple minutes ago. That ball went right in the gap, and both Mahler and Boswell made their way around the bases and were able to score.
Absolutely. So we're going to see, looks like a pitching change here for the Stars. So we're going to take a quick break as we get all of that sorted out. But the Cougars slowly starting their climb back, stealing some momentum. So do not go anywhere as we get ready for Eli Hickman to take the plate here. So we'll be right back on the Cougar Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Cougar Sports Network. We are back here with a pitching change. We've got number 10 on the mound, Rocco Chirito. He's had 6 appearances so far this year. He's got 2 losses to his name with 5 innings pitched, 4 walks and 3 strikeouts, 9 runs overall scored. But we'll see what he'll be able to do after Kalikas is now out of the running here after a very, very great outing. Eli Hickman taking that ball in the dirt. Chirito, we're really going to see what kind of pitcher he is compared to what Kalikas was able to do out there. Kalikas, known for going after the strike zone as much as possible. So far we got a 2-0 count for Hickman, but we'll see what he's able to do here in comparison to Kalikas' outing. Again, runner on second for the Cougars as Rensberger hit those 2 runners in to make it 10-6. Ball 3 just outside. Hickman already with a walk on the day, and I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering this correctly, was on 4 straight pitches, so Hickman just might have himself another one right here if Chirito doesn't come after him right now.
Absolutely. Kalikas struggled to pitch to Hickman early in Hickman's first at-bat as the only left-handed batter here for the Cougars, but now we're seeing a lefty-on-lefty here, and Chirito able to deliver that one in there for a strike. Cougars operating here with 2 outs now. A 3-1 count in favor of Hickman. As that one is in there for ball 4. Bringing up Julio Cajigas here for the Cougars.
Doesn't hurt to have a guy like Hickman out on the base paths. I mean, he's got Rensberger in front of him, but he is an aggressive runner. He's somebody that you want out there if you've got a ball in the gap, because he'll be able to do just like Boswell did in the last inning with that gap shot, is go from first to home with no hesitation. Cajigas 0 for 2 so far today with 2 strikeouts, so he is looking to break open right now and keep the Cougars on this roll. They've had 4 runs scored this inning so far to make it a 10-6 game. So, again, the Cougars have been slowly chipping away, but able to get back in this ball game.
Absolutely, and that's the power of the Cougars hitters is, you know, able to come back and do what they got to do. They've talked about it a lot. You've heard Coach Connor talk about it in his Coach's Weekly episodes that the hitters know what they have to do and what they're expected to do, and no matter the deficit or no matter the advantage that they have, the hitters are going to go out and they're going to swing, and that's exactly what they're doing here as Cajigas pops that one up, and it's going and it's back at the wall, but Phillips able to glove it right at the fence. A fantastic look there from Cajigas, just unable to get a little bit more lift under it, so Cougars picking up 4 runs on the inning and slowly starting their climb back. So we will be back with the top of the 4th here in River Forest. Don't go anywhere on the Cougar Sports Network.
Christopher.
Back here on the Cougar Sports Network. Stars leading the Cougars 10-6. Christopher at the plate for the Stars, looking to put a bunt down, but that falls just foul.
Interesting choice, as we saw at the end of last inning. Polano was not afraid to field his position. So an interesting look from the Stars to start off trying to bunt here, but Christopher 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout, so maybe just looking to get something different for him, give him a different look, make sure that he's seeing the ball in.
Polano delivers that one in there for ball 1. That one low and away. Christopher thought about it for a second, but hesitates and holds for ball 2.
Christopher only 2 hits so far on the year, so not a whole lot of work out of the right fielder, but we've seen him already. He made that diving attempt out in the outfield, so he definitely has some speed available to him. So looking to break off this no-hitter for himself.
Absolutely, keeping himself alive there with a foul ball.
I'm really liking Polano's approach out at the mound right now. He's got a lot of work out there, and he's got a great presence on the mound right now, and I think that that's been huge for the Cougars right now as they're trying to take this game back. Having someone super confident on the mound is going to be a big thing for them on the defensive end.
Polano steps off there, regaining himself. Polano, another one of our student workers in the athletic communications department, a fantastic pickup from us this year. His sister actually sang the national anthem prior to the game, so Polano family really doing some work around River Forest.
Polano actually plays the saxophone as well, so musically inclined family as well as athletic, as we can see right now.
Polano with the 2-2 count here. Catches that one on the outside corner. Fire me up, Anthony Polano, as he gets that strikeout to start the inning.
This is what you want to see. I mean, for the Cougars right now, you had that 9-run inning, and this game is just as close as it could be right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Bono at the plate now for the Stars, riding the high from his home run earlier in the day. As he sends that one over to Crater at third, able to glove it, sends the ball in the dirt, but Kasich able to scoop it up, and quickly the Cougars have 2 outs.
This has become a very quick inning. I mean, from the beginning of the game, when we were out on defense for a very long time in that second inning, it's nice to see that the Cougars are able to rebound from that, take some of the momentum they've gotten from the offensive end of the ball, and transfer it over to them on defense.
Yeah, and having an experienced pitcher here on the mound for the Cougars is really proven to be the key, as Polano gets McCall swinging on that one. But the first 2 pitchers we saw for the Cougars were both freshmen, and both struggled a little bit to find their groove. And Polano coming in his second inning now, and he's doing the work and quickly, is able to get the Cougars in this position. 2 outs, no runners on base. That's the first time we've seen this in this game.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the comparisons that we've seen between these 2 teams, they've gotten the leadoff runner on every single inning except for this one. So this has been a great inning for the Cougars.
Yeah, and that ball's hit over to Mahler, and Anthony Polano doing exactly what he needs to do. We talked about it, forcing ground balls to get those outs, and those infielders doing their job and getting that done. And as you saw, Polano was excited to get out of this inning, and Cougars, holding the Stars to another scoreless inning. That's exactly what they need to be doing right now. So turning the momentum back over to their hitters and looking to get things going here as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Cougars still riding the momentum and trying to make their climb back, so don't go anywhere on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, bottom of the fourth. Cougars trailing the Stars 10-6, but Tyler Dorsch at the plate for the Cougars. Already one home run on the day as he swings at that first pitch, and that drop, that's going to hit the back wall in right center, take a really horrible bounce out there. Dorsch is going to keep going. The wheels have not stopped, and he's going to pick up a triple on that after rounding second, successfully making it to third. There was no stopping Dorsch there.
I mean, that's his second time today, showing how he is just ready to run at any point in time. He is not hesitant at all in his base running abilities, and that's a huge start off for the Cougars with a leadoff triple, putting him immediately into scoring position for Brandon Mahler and the rest of this Cougar lineup.
I mean, I don't think anybody could have stopped Dorsch if they tried to there. He was not slowing down.
Mahler coming up right now, 1 for 2 on the day, scored a run.
That ball hit over to third. And, oh my goodness, what an athletic scoop from Galdi. A little bit of a wild throw from Kreku, and Galdi quite literally doing the splits to successfully grab that.
I'll have to be honest, my jaw dropped on that play. That was absolutely incredible. I mean, especially in weather like this right now, that's pretty hard to do. So that's pretty impressive out of him.
Coach Colin Connor coming out and talking with the officials. I think he's questioning whether or not Galdi pulled his foot potentially. Mahler still camping over on first. Galdi stretching over there, stretching his hamstrings a little bit. That was a real athletic play from him. But they're ultimately going to call Mahler out.
It's a hard one to see, especially because the umpire, he's kind of stationed a little more towards shortstop. So for him to see that back foot is almost impossible. We've only got 2 umpires today, so for that, it's a little bit difficult for him to see, and even the umpire behind the plate. So I think on that play especially, it's the right call.
Kasich now at the plate for the Cougars. Looks at ball 1. Chiarito still working on the mound for the Stars. Kasich sends that one, finds the gap. Dorsch able to get home. Kasich a clean base hit through the 6-hole, and the Cougars are moving.
And already from the start of this game, we're at 10-7. They're only 3 runs down from being able to tie this ball game up. So the Cougars making those adjustments, and obviously as well taking advantage of Chiarito coming into this game later on and being able to work off of what he's given them.
Crater with a home run on the day as well. Fouls that one back.
Interesting thing to note right now, Chiarito, he's only really come in so far this season for 1 to almost 2 innings. So this might be a short-looked arm for the Stars. There's already somebody else working down in the bullpen at the moment. So we'll see how long they keep him in and what they're going to do next with their bullpen.
0-1 count here for Crater as he swings at that and drops that one right down the left field line. Kasich rounding second is going to safely get to third. Crater finds himself in a little bit of a rundown. Crater safely back at first after nobody came to cover. Chiarito came to cover home thinking that Kasich was going to go. Kasich held, and with no coverage at first, Crater's able to get back.
That was some incredible base running out of Crater. He was actually turning to go to second. Left fielder made a heads-up play by being able to throw to second base to stop him from getting into scoring position. But the difference is that instead of there being somebody there, Crater was able to get all the way back to first base. So not where he wanted to get in the end, but he's still on base, and we've only got 1 out right now. With an opportunity for the Cougars to score.
And it was a great defensive effort there from Chiarito, making the judgment call to cover home, because in that situation, in that rundown, if Kasich would have started to make the go, you would have needed some coverage there, because at the end of the day, preventing that run is exactly what they're focusing on doing. Obviously, you want to get that out, but preventing Kasich from scoring is what you wanted to do. It was just an unfortunate situation for him to be in.
First and third situation now for the Stars, so we'll see what the Cougar base runners are going to look to cook up. If they're going to look to try and throw them off, maybe take a base or two, or if they're going to stay back and let the hitters do the work.
Jake Mahler at the plate. 2 hits on the day. Mentioned it earlier, had an amazing day yesterday, 4 for 4. So he's really starting to come alive, and that's exactly what you need at the plate right now as he looks at strike 1.
Mahler so far today, 2 for 2. I mean, he's just having an incredible week for himself. He has 1 RBI and 1 run scored. And, again, he's the guy you want at the plate right now. So I think this is an amazing opportunity for the Cougars.
As he sends that one into the 6th hole. Kasich's going to score. Crater holding at second. Make it 3 for 3, Jake Mahler.
And just like that, we've got a 10-8 ball game with runners on first and second. The Cougars not looking to die off of this challenge at all from the Stars. And again, this rivalry runs deep. So, and as we see right now, the Stars coach is going to come out. It looks like he's signaling to the bullpen. So this might be it for the day for Chiarito.
Absolutely. As we see someone coming in for the Stars, Chiarito making his exit from the mound. So we're going to take a quick break while we get all of the information needed here. Cougars making their comeback, 10-8 here. Only 1 out. Don't go anywhere here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Our name's Richard. Hey, Cougar fans. Thank you for tuning in to today's game. For more information on the baseball program, head to cucougars.com. We hope to see you at our next game. Roll, Cougs!
Now batting the shortstop.
Back on the Cougar Sports Network, Yashawn Boswell at the plate for the Cougars. New pitcher on the mound for the Stars, Casey Mizak, looking to put a stop to this raging Cougar offense as he drops that one in there for strike 1.
Casey Mizak, he's got a 4.5 ERA. Only 1 appearance in 2 innings pitched. That was against Augustana on March 17th, so just 10 days ago. He had 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 1 run scored. So not a lot of time so far. He's also a freshman, something to note, from Chandler, Arizona. So we will see what kind of work we're going to see out of the freshman today. But this is a huge moment for him and a big challenge in his first year for the Stars.
That ball popped up out of view of us, but looks like Galdi was able to grab it, secure the out, and bring up Nick Rensberger to the plate.
Rensberger 1 for 1 today with 2 RBIs. He hit that double into the gap last inning, that really turned the tide for the Cougars. He also has a walk on the day as well, so he's had a hot bat so far this week, just overall, so he's really giving himself almost the exact same opportunity as earlier in this game to score some more runs.
If I remember correctly, Rensberger, when he had that big momentum-changing double, also operating with 2 outs, as we are here in this inning. So something that doesn't shake Rensberger. 2 outs, a very comfortable spot for him to work in as he looks at that for ball 2.
Having a lot of deja vu right now with the first and second 2-out situation with Rensberger at the plate. So if you're a Cougar fan, you're happy right now because this is giving some great opportunities for you to tie this ball game up, because if he does what he did last time, we will have a tie ball game.
As he lets that one go for strike 1. Myzak needing to remain calm here, do what he's got to do, and throw those strikes in there. Slowly but surely get this secured out. Try to get the Stars out of this inning.
Myzak taking a completely different pitching approach than the first 2 pitchers. You're seeing a lot more movement out of his pitches than the other 2, kind of working around the zone rather than going straight into it. So I think he's looking to get some chase pitches and get the Cougars to make some mistakes off the ball rather than go straight for the strikeout.
As that one upstairs for ball 4, bringing up Eli Hickman. Bases loaded situation here for Hickman. 2 outs, runners all across. Myzak really feeling that pressure here on the mound.
And Hickman today, he's had 2 walks, so no hits so far for the center fielder, but he's shown that he is capable of being very vigilant in the box and being able to know when it's time to swing and when it's time to let one go by. And I'm pretty sure he just took 8 straight balls in his last 2 at-bats, so that's the first strike I think Hickman's seen all day.
As he connects with that and drops it into the gap in center field. Mahler's rounding third, heading home. Rensberger sliding into third. Hickman out at second. Oh my goodness, Cougar faithful unhappy about that call. Mahler's run going to count though. So a super unfortunate ending there for Hickman, but gonna score 2 runs. And the Cougars tie things up as we head into the top of the 5th. Cougars coming back. Don't go anywhere here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Cougar Nation, it's your favorite set of twins, Brandon and Jake. We're coming at you with a commercial.
We love the support you give us on and off the field. To donate to our athletic communications department, hit the thank you button. This helps us continue to have the best live streams possible for some great Cougar baseball moments.
Thank you and enjoy the game. Roll Cubs!
Back here in the top of the 5th, Feeling like a new ball game here. Cougars tied things up 10-10. Anthony Polano still working on the mound for the Cougars as he puts that one in there for strike one.
What an interesting game this has been. I mean, in the top of the second, the Stars scored 9 runs. It kind of seemed like one of those situations where we're up here trying to determine what the Cougars are going to do next, and they just started to chip away at the score and really take advantage of the home field that they've got here right now, and the Cougar faithful that are out here really rallying for them. So, and then again, Polano, I think having the confidence that he's had out on the mound so far in these 2 innings has been huge to keep the momentum going on the defensive end.
I mean, coming from a deficit is not something that the Cougars are afraid of. That happened to them in last night's non-conference game against Wheaton College. At one point, was down only 6-0, so a little bit less than an 8-run deficit, but they were down 6-0 and then slowly but surely chipped away at that Wheaton Thunder lead, and that's exactly what they're doing here. Maybe not having a monster inning the way that the Stars did, but putting up at least 1 run every inning. You're looking at that scoreboard out there and you're seeing 2 no run scored innings for the Stars and the Cougars scoring in every inning so far, and that's really going to be the difference maker here.
2-2 count right now for Polano as he goes up against Galvin, who's 1 for 1 today. He's got a run, an RBI, and he also picked up a walk as well. So he's been doing a pretty good job out there at the plate. We'll see what he does with it here.
Swing and a miss. Anthony Polano gets another strikeout. Polano doing a fantastic job on the mound for the Cougars in his 2 innings pitched so far. 2 strikeouts already on the day, only allowing 1 hit in only 8 batters faced. So Polano's actually doing a fantastic job here for the Cougars and keeping this momentum with them.
And something to keep in mind, too, that's keeping his pitch count down. Because right now, with Polano, if he gets 1 more out, that will be his season-high innings pitch. So being able to keep that pitch count down is what's going to keep him out there on the mound and give him more of an opportunity to help out the Cougars. 0-1 count right now. And quickly 0-2. Polano being able to find this zone almost immediately out of this home plate umpire, which has been huge for the momentum shift as he goes up against number 4, Phillips.
That ball high for ball 1.
Phillips today 1 for 2. He has a double, 2 runs scored, and a walk. So he's really been someone that the Stars have looked to get something started for them and be that person on base to score those runs. So we'll see if they're looking to start that rally again right now.
That ball in the dirt. Phillips thought about swinging, but hesitated on it. Phillips really, like you mentioned, having a double and a walk on the day, he's really a key guy to have as the top of your order. Pretty consistent. Making these at bats as difficult as possible for the pitcher, and that's exactly what he's doing here for Polano. As Polano delivers strike 3. Oh my goodness! And quickly 2 outs here for the Cougars at the hands of Anthony Polano.
I mean, what a big day for the Polano family. I mean, right now, Anthony's out there doing a great job on the mound, having just right now officially crossing into his season high so far for his year, as well as his sister singing a national anthem. So this is just a great day for the Polano family.
As he gets set for this one, that one's fouled back, coming straight back at the press box, but thankfully we have great netting to block that from us. Polano 1 strikeout away from a new career record, so really chasing that here as he gets that one, and as quick as that, he's 1 strike away from his career high strikeouts. As Helon looks to keep this inning alive for the Stars, Polano the pitch in the dirt for ball 1.
The Stars, in the beginning of this game, we were talking about how specific that their approach was to the other pitches that they were seeing. And now they really are having a hard time figuring out Polano as he's coming straight at them now rather than working around the zone. So seeing if the Stars are going to be able to adjust to that or if Polano is just going to continue to command as much as he has.
That pitch a little wild there from Polano, but only sitting at a 2-2 count here, so still some room to work for him. That one misses just outside for a full count.
Something to note, number 34, Heline, he's actually had 2 walks today. So another just really disciplined hitter, not wanting to.
He connects with it, sends it high into the sky. Hickman under it, and Polano gets out of the inning. Cougars getting things done, holding the Stars to another 0 on the scoreboard and handing things back over to the hitters. Cougars have a chance to take the lead here for the first time of the day. So don't go anywhere as the excitement continues to build here in River Forest. You're watching CUC Baseball on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here for the bottom of the 5th, as the Cougars are looking to take the lead here. Julio Cajigas leading things off. Mizak still working on the mound for the Stars. So that one misses for ball 1. Cougars getting a little bit of in-between action pump up there from pitching coach Matt Smith's kids, Kennedy and Easton, getting the crowd up and fired up as Cajigas sends this one high into the sky, deep back. He's already tossing the bat. That ball is out of here. Julio Cajigas, what a monster way to start the inning. As the Cougars do it, they take the lead off of the 3rd home run of the day.
And that was, Cajigas was due for that one. He was 0 for 3 so far today. And being able to go out there and just knock one out of the park, especially in a game like this, I mean, he is just fired up right now, and that's what the Cougars want.
Absolutely. Cougars steal the lead 11-10 here with Tyler Dorsch at the plate. Dorsch, another Cougar with a home run on the day. Wind, given the assist here as Cougars looking to build on that momentum. Mizak drops that one in there for strike 1.
For the Stars now, for the pitching side of everything, they're going to see how Mizak, makes these adjustments. Again, he's just a freshman, so this is only his 2nd appearance on the year. A huge moment like that, giving up that home run. How is he going to respond, and how is he going to look to take out the Cougars' batters one by one?
No movement in the Stars bullpen, so, that's giving Mizak the opportunity to work through this little bit of a rut as he delivers another ball there. But given, like you said, as a freshman, trying to build that confidence and giving him the opportunity to work through things and, figure out how to overcome that little bit of a, not only giving up a run, but there's a mental side of it too. And being able to work through both what's happening on the mound, and the mental aspect is going to be huge for the freshman.
Vice versa for the Cougars, seeing that out of this freshman arm, they're going to take advantage of it and be very selective up at the plate.
As Dorsch fouls that one back for a full count now.
Dorsch so far today, he's 2 for 2. Another Cougar just having an absolute monster afternoon. 3 runs scored, 1 RBI, a triple and a home run to boot. Just a great afternoon.
As that ball's in the dirt for ball 4. Taking a nice little stroll over to first to bring Brandon Mahler to the plate.
Mahler so far today, 1 for 3. He has 1 run scored as well. That was that twin telepathy moment we were talking about earlier in the game where he was scored by his brother Jake. So Jake, again, he just a couple down on the lineup. So we'll see if there's some more twin telepathy and some teamwork going for the Cougars here.
As Mizak throws strike 1 there. Dorsch probably looking to be a little aggressive on the base paths here as he takes off for second. The throw there gets Dorsch. A fantastic throw from McCall. Is going to get the first out of the inning and take that runner off base.
It was a great jump from Dorsch, but that throw from McCall was just a perfect line, and nothing you can do there as a runner. You've done everything that you're supposed to, but, you know, hats off to him for a great throw.
As Mahler sends that one out to center field, stumbling a little bit over it, but Phillips able to make that grab, and the Cougars now 2 outs with Michael Kasich at the plate.
Kasich so far today, 1 for 3. He's had 2 RBIs and a run. So, again, all of these Cougars coming up have been able to really take advantage of their situations and get some hits going. Now we got no one on base with 2 outs, so Kasich is looking to get a 2-out rally going.
As he swings at the first pitch, and that ball's going back into right field, but Christopher able to glove it and get the Stars out of this inning. Cougars seeing 1 run in the inning to take the lead, but unable to do anything else. So at the end of 5, the Cougars are leading 11-10, and the Stars need to get some things going. Have not scored since the 2nd inning, so going to be looking for some aggressive at-bats here from the Stars, but Polano's going to keep working for the Cougars. You're not going to want to miss what happens next here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back on the Cougar Sports Network, Matt Galdi at the plate for the Stars. Polano dishing ball 1 here.
Galdi 0 for 1 on the day so far, but he does have 2 walks to his name, so he's had some really great at-bats. And right now, Polano has been commanding the zone, so he's going to be looking to hit the ball. quickly 1-2 right now for Polano. Again, that command has just been what's been working for him great today. Again, he's got the 4th best ERA on the team at a 2.61 and 1 win to his name. So not a stranger to being able to command, but this has been a great outing so far for Polano.
Galdi needing to get some things moving here for the Stars. Takes ball to the Stars. Have not scored since their monster second inning where they put up 9 runs over the Cougars. So a little bit of a dry spell in the last few innings. As Galdi swings at that, sends it deep back. Dorsch tracking it, jumps, makes the attempt, but that ball was well over the fence. Galdi with a 1-run homer, just as I said it. They hadn't scored, and Galdi did what needed to be done, and he scored, and now we've got ourselves an even ball game once again.
At this point, everything that's happened so far is a little bit off the table because now we're 11-11. High-scoring game for both of these teams. Looks like we're going to have an ejection down on the field from one of the players. A little confused on who exactly is being tossed.
Looks like I'm not entirely sure. We're seeing
I think
head coach Hardman discussing with the umpires.
I think Galdi might have been tossed from the game when he came around. We didn't see anything straight up out of the gate, but at this point we're looking to see what exactly transpired for there to be that sort of call. And at least at this point in time, looks like the home run is still going to count.
So it looks like Galdi bat flipped, which is something that officials had been cracking down on across the NCAA. So Galdi, as he took off down first base after that hit, gets just about to the coach's box on the first base side and bat flipped. And looks like he's going to be tossed for that. Again, something we've seen not just at the Division III level, but across the NCAA. The officials have been cracking down on bat flips, making sure that players aren't doing it at all. And we see that as a perfect example here. A great home run from Galdi, a momentum shifter for the Stars, but it's going to be a bit of a downfall for the Stars. But Cougars are going to have a pitching change here, so we are going to take a quick break while that gets settled. So don't go anywhere on the Cougar Sports Network.
Batter is the third baseman, number
Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, a tie game. New arm on the mound for the Cougars, number 17, Connor Fitzgerald. Just saw an ejection for the Stars after a monster home run tied things back up.
That's going to hurt the Stars a lot because, first of all, Galdi's their go-to first baseman. He's their second highest batting average on the team. He was now 2 for 3 on the day or 1 for 2, with a home run. So he's had 2 RBIs. He's been a huge contributor on the offense, and obviously on the defense is one of the people that sees the ball the most. So right now, having him out, it's going to be interesting to see how the Stars are able to maneuver around in that situation.
Kreku at the plate for the Stars. 2 hits and 2 at-bats. Takes a walk there. Fitzgerald walking his first batter of the day. Bringing up Kalikis.
Designated hitter number 8, CJ Kalikas.
Interesting to know, Kalikis, despite coming off the mound for the Stars, staying in to hit for them as he looks at ball 1. 1 hit, 1 RBI on the day so far. Pops that one up. Kasich tracking it just out of view of us, but looks like it goes foul out of play. So a 1-1 count now.
Kalikas so far today, 1 for 3. He's got a run, an RBI, and 1 strikeout so far to his name. And obviously, he did a great job in the beginning of the game, throwing on the mound for the Stars, and now switching into the designated hitter role.
That ball low for ball 2. Fitzgerald looking to keep the Stars where they're at here after Polano giving up a home run. Polano did a fantastic job at coming back, but giving up that home run as that Kalikas hits that ball into the gap in left center. Kreku's going to round head home. Boswell with the throw. Not enough juice on it to get to Brandon Mahler. Kalikas all fired up at second as he gets the Stars ahead of the Cougars. We're going to see head coach Colin Connor coming out, and I think we're going to see a pitching change here for the Cougars very quickly. Pitching change. So we're going to get you that pitching change in just a minute here on the Cougar Sports Network.
What's up, Cougar fans? Thanks for tuning in to today's broadcast. For all things Cougar baseball, head to Twitter or Instagram, type in CUC Baseball, and you'll find our page. Or visit CUCougars.com. Thanks again. Go Cougs!
New arm on the mound for the Cougars, number 40, Bryce Jones, also a pinch hitter here for the Stars. Number 22, Quentin Schwartz. So, a lot of changes here.
Schwartz being one of the regulars for the Stars. He's got a .238 batting average. He's got 14 games played, 10 hits on the year, a double and a home run, as well as 8 RBIs. So somebody who's usually in the game for the Stars, and right now the momentum shifting back in Dominican's favor. So wanting to get somebody who's seen the ball a lot this year an opportunity to score some more runs.
A 2-1 count here.
On the other hand, Cougar pitcher number 40, Bryce Jones, he's got a 0.63 ERA with 2 wins and 12 appearances on the year. 5 walks, 11 strikeouts, and 14.1 innings pitched. So a great season so far for Bryce Jones, and a great choice to bring in to try and shut down the Stars and get the Cougars back to the plate to score some more runs.
This guy's infielder and outfielder, so he could be either right fielder or first base. Thought in the beginning.
Yeah, Bryce Jones, a really strong arm for the Cougars. As he delivers this one, popped foul. Mahler tracking it, but looks like it's going to go over the netting. 2-2 count here.
Schwartz, even as the pinch hitter, not afraid to swing at any pitches right now, especially with a new arm like Bryce Jones. He's trying to take advantage of him coming into the game, especially on a cold day like this. These pitchers, they've got to be doing extra work in the bullpen, whether to get ready to come in and be truly warm to get out there on the mound.
A ball low for ball 3, a full count now. Runner on second, no outs here. A great spot for the Stars to be in as they already took the lead here, looking to continue to build on it. Quite a back and forth game so far here in River Forest, as that ball is popped high into the sky. Crater tracking it and able to get under it to successfully retire Schwartz.
That's not an easy ball to track down either for Crater. That ball was sky high, so for him to be able to get that and help to slow down what the Stars have started here in this inning. Super important.
Second baseman number 7.
So
Anthony
1 out
Bono.
here. Now Bono at the plate for the Stars. Again, another consistent hitter that you want at the plate. We saw him go long early on in the game. Takes a massive swing and a miss at this one.
Now Bono, 1 for 2 on the day, 2 RBIs, a run. And of course, like you mentioned, he also had a home run, also a sacrifice fly earlier in the game. So he's been hitting the ball further and further out into the field. So at this point, you've got a runner now going to third with that pass ball right behind Brandon Mahler there at the plate. So now you've got somebody in a perfect position that with 1 out, even if you get the ball out to the outfield, you're probably going to score another run.
If you're Bryce Jones here, you're trying to force that ground ball. We talked about it earlier, especially with this wind. You can't really afford to let some balls sail through the air. So forcing a ground ball here is really the only way to ensure that, that runner does not tag up and, put this this Stars lead even further ahead. As that one successfully grabbed by Boswell, a very athletic play. Took an awkward bounce and with a little twirly there, able to grab it and get the out.
Super athletic play from Boswell. I mean, that's not an easy ball to get. He went for that ball, and instead of having his glove flipped over, he ended up taking it with most of the palm of his hand and his body to stop that ball. So a great recovery and able to get that out. That's a huge play right there from the shortstop.
Jones delivering ball 1 to McCall. That ball is popped up, Cougars tracking it, coming in, and gets the Cougars out of that jam. Exactly what you needed out of Bryce Jones in this moment. So the Stars taking the lead, but Cougars ready to start the battle back. So we will be back for the bottom of the sixth here on the Cougar Sports Network. Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, we are in the bottom of the sixth. Cougars now trailing 12-11. Handful of changes here for the Stars in the field. We see a new arm on the mound in number 9, Langdon Downing, a freshman pitcher here. In addition to that, we've got a new body at first in Matthew Partridge, and a new body out in right field in Peyton Arsenault. So a lot of changes here for the for the Stars as Crater fouls that one back.
Looking at number 9, Langdon Downing, he's got an 8.35 ERA, 1 win and 2 losses to his name, 5 appearances on the year. He's got 18.1 innings pitched, 18 strikeouts to 8 walks, so a great strikeout to walk ratio from him. But now with a 2-2 count to start off here in the bottom of the sixth, we'll see how the Cougars respond. Just trailing by 1 run, 12-11 after that last inning from the Stars, so it's really coming down to crunch time for them.
Crater gets under this one, sends it high and deep into left, and that ball is gone! Tyler Crater ties it back up. Another home run. Oh my goodness, home run city here in River Forest.
I mean, that's his second of the day. I mean, what a day for Tyler Crater. It has just been, the ball's just been flying out of the park today for both sides, but for the Cougars especially. What a huge moment from him, and he's smiling as he runs back to the dugout into his teammates. So huge day for him, and again, we're all tied back up. I feel like we're like a record scratching right now, but we're tied up again, 12-12.
I mean, I might make my case to the city of River Forest to rename it to Home Run City here because this is outrageous for the Cougars. Mahler takes ball 1 low and away.
Mahler has had an incredible day as well at the plate, going 3 for 3. He has 2 runs, 2 RBIs. He's just been super consistent up there at the plate. So just like Crater, I'm sure he's looking to get himself on base. And again, as we keep repeating, I feel like, again, we're broken records at this point, but the ball just keeps flying out of the park. So anything up in the air is fair game.
As Mahler takes a 4-ball walk and brings up Yashawn Boswell for the Cougars. I mean, if you want to talk about needing momentum, a lead-off home run is probably the ideal way to do it. I mean, I can't picture anything even more.
I'd have to agree with you on that because there's nothing better than that at this point. And again, you've got a new arm in the circle. That's the first batter he's seen, and that's, I feel like, again, broken record. We've been in this situation so much today. Now we have to see how this pitcher, how he's going to respond, if Downing's going to be able to hone back into the strike zone and go after these hitters, or if it's going to become a situation where they have to go back to the bullpen.
Boswell bunts that one, but pops it up. An unfortunate bunt there, but Mahler's going to stay safely over at first, bringing up Nick Rensberger.
Rensberger, 1 for 1 on the day, a double, 2 walks, 2 RBIs. Again, he's been super clutch up there in situations with runners in scoring position. So we'll see right now if he's able to continue that. Only 1 out right now for the Cougars.
I mean, a base hit here moves Mahler at minimum 1 base, but with the speed that Jake Mahler has, you're talking potentially 2 and potentially even getting himself home on just a base hit here as Mahler steps back confidently to first as Downing looked to pick him off. Mahler not too worried there.
We've got our new first baseman, Matthew Partridge, number 18 over there, and that ball that was thrown to him by Downing almost went past him. He was able to dive down and grab it. So really heads-up play for the new first baseman. Obviously, this is his first inning back on the field in this game.
Rensberger now facing an 0-2 count, needing to stay alive here as that one is high for ball 1. Rensberger pretty good at making the pitchers adapt to him, and you know, as a veteran hitter here for the Cougar squad, taking advantage of a young arm on the mound and really putting that pressure on. Taking ball 2 here again, not settling, making this pitcher throw a handful of pitches in this at-bat and tiring him out here.
Something to note from Downing right now, the movement that he's having on his breaking ball specifically is moving really well. It's just not spotting in the right spots. That one specifically to get Rensberger out is exactly what I'm talking about. He spotted that in the perfect place. The movement is insane coming out of Downing's hand right now, but it's going to depend on whether or not he can spot those pitches in the right places and keep it out of the center of the strike zone so the Cougars don't take more advantage of it.
So quickly now, 2 outs here. Mahler still camped over on first. Hickman at the plate. That ball in there for strike 1. Hickman had that fantastic hit in his last at-bat, thrown out at second, but scored 2 runs off of it as he takes strike 2.
Hickman 1 for 1 today, 2 RBIs, 2 walks. Been super consistent up at the plate so far, but now he's down 0-2 in this count to Downing, who just had a huge strikeout in Rensberger.
As he delivers that ball for ball 1. All tied up here in River Forest. So with the speedy Mahler taking off. And that one is in there for strike 3. Mahler taking off had no real effect because Hickman takes the strikeout, but Cougars tie things up as we head to the top of the 7th, the last inning here in the first game of our doubleheader. So It's do or die here in River Forest as we're going to take a short break heading into the top of the final inning. Don't go anywhere here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Hey there, Cougar fans. We appreciate you turning in today's game. To stay up to date on all things CUC baseball,
follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CUC Baseball.
We'll see you on campus soon.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Back here on the Cougar Sports Network, heading into the top of the 7th. We've got a new batter for the Stars, number 19, Ryan Schmidt. Sid, something interesting to note here. I can't remember if we touched on it earlier in the game, but with these new conference rulings, doubleheader games become a 7 and a 9 inning game. So, as I mentioned, we are in the final inning, the final scheduled inning, I should say, in this first game. If we end up going to extra innings here, the next game will become a 7-inning game, but right now, a tie ball game in the top of the 7th here.
Interesting thing to note, because up until this point, all of these teams have been used to playing 2 back-to-back 9-inning games, so now with the shortness of it, they have to kind of almost game plan around that.
As Schmidt pops this one up, Dorsch tracking it and successfully grabs it out in right field for 1 out now. Top of the lineup for the Stars. Phillips at the plate, trying to keep the Stars alive here.
Phillips so far today, 1 for 3, 2 runs. He had a double, a walk, and a strikeout so far. So we've seen a little bit of everything from him. And now this is his first time really seeing Jones up there, who is one of the pitchers in the Cougars bullpen, the night shift, as they call themselves, who has really made a name for himself this season specifically and continues to have a ton of presence on the mound.
Bryce Jones delivering strike 1. You know, you mentioned the night shift kind of doing their job, and that's exactly what we've seen today so far. You know, you think of the pitchers that we've seen for the Cougars, and Anthony Polano, a key member of the night shift, who did a fantastic job at getting the Cougars back into this game, and now Bryce Jones, another night shift member, as he gets a strikeout there. And they're doing exactly what they need to be doing.
Something to note as well out of Bryce Jones, he's only thrown at the most 2 innings. And at this point, he's at 1.2. So we'll see whether or not after this inning he is dealing on the mound right now. And again, as we discussed before, if the Cougars are to win in the bottom half of this inning or the Stars are able to score here, then that will end the game in the 7th. But if we go into the 8th, 9th, however many we go as we stay tied, we'll see how long Jones can last out there on the mound.
2 outs now for the Stars. Heline at the plate. A 1-1 count. Jones looking to close his chapter of this inning here. Hand things over to the Cougar batters. Heline on the flip side looking to keep things alive for the Stars. As Jones drops that one low for ball 2.
Heline today 0 for 1, but he has had 2 walks, so not afraid to be disciplined at the plate. And at this point, he's 2-1 in this count, so it really is his ball at this point.
Jones catches him swinging here, and it's a 2-2 count, 2 outs.
Twos all around in this count right here, and let's see how Jones takes advantage of it.
And that one is in the dirt, makes this a full count now. Wind blowing straight out. Sun still shining. A wonderful day here for the weather. Some sun, some wind, some clouds here as that one is in there for strike 3. Bryce Jones gets the Cougars out of the inning and hands things over to the batters. Fire me up, Bryce Jones. What a way to hand the power over to your hitters. As the Cougars are looking to make this a walk-off winner here in the bottom of the 7th. Don't go anywhere here on the Cougar Sports Network.
Our name's Richard. Hey, Cougar fans. Thank you for tuning in to today's game. For more information on the baseball program, head to CUCougars.com. We hope to see you at our next game. Roll, Cougs!
Back here in the bottom of the 7th. A giant chance here for the Cougars after spending a chunk of the game down to walk this one off with the winner. Julio Cajigas at the plate takes strike 1. All the Cougars need is 1 run here to win it. Stars doing everything they can to prevent that.
Something to know, we've had 4 home runs out of the Cougars today.
As Cajigas finds the gap into center. Looks to round, but Phillips does a great job of keeping that ball in front of him to stop Cajigas from taking any extra bases.
That's exactly what you need out of Cajigas as your leadoff man. I mean, just getting on base, let everybody else knock you around, because at this point, we don't need anything special. We literally just need 1 run. So whatever we're able to do at this point, it's going to come down to sacrificing here and there, but if it gets us the win, that's what the Cougars are looking for.
Absolutely. So Dorsch now at the plate. Dorsch operating with a home run of his own today. Cajigas safely back at first. Downing checking him.
Dorsch is a perfect 2 for 2 today. Obviously, he had the home run. He also has a triple to his name, 3 runs scored and an RBI, as well as 2 walks. So an incredible day out of Dorsch up there at the plate. And again, we would love to see him continue to do that here in the bottom of the 7th.
Absolutely. So that one's in there for ball 1. Downing very concerned about Cajigas over at first, checking him 2 times. Cajigas inching his way out further and further every time as that ball comes straight back. A 1-1 count now. Checking on Cajigas again.
Something to note here, especially with Downing just continuing to do that over and over again, checking Cajigas. He's really just making sure Cajigas isn't going to steal that base, because Julio Cajigas, he's got some speed under his belt. He's one of our outfielders, so somebody who could definitely take advantage of that. So they're just really making sure that he's not going to go for that extra base.
2-1 count here as Dorsch swings at that one, but directly to Heline over in left. So 1 out here for the Cougars. Cajigas staying where he's at. Brandon Mahler at the plate now.
Mahler today, 1 for 4. He has 1 run scored, so this is an awesome opportunity again. We really want to see that runner on first get moved over into a scoring position situation, and now with an 0-1 count, looks like Downing is not backing down from the challenge.
Downing once again checking Cahigas over at first. First base coach for the Cougars, Jose Mercado, one of the legendary players from Concordia, Chicago, was a member of their World Series team. Holds a handful of records in the Cougar record books, including stolen bases. So a great coach to have over on first base for the Cougar squad.
0-2 now for Mahler, seeing what he can do here. And if Downing, as he checks Cahigas again, if he's going to go for a pitch closer to the strike zone, or if he's going to look to chase away to try and catch Mahler off balance.
The delivery here. In there for strike 3. Brandon Mahler caught looking, and that's going to bring up Michael Kasich here. 2 outs for the Cougars, winning run over on first.
First baseman number 10, Michael
Kasich so far today, 1 for 4. He's had 2 RBIs, and Kasich's known for, in these big moments, for really stepping up and doing something with his situation. So we'll see what he does here.
That one's in there for strike 1. Cougars operating with 2 outs, not something they're scared of. We've seen a lot of good things happen with 2 outs. Today they're 3 for 8 at the plate with 2 outs. So a very possible statistic here for them to get something going, as that one is low for ball 1.
Right now the Cougars are 7 for 19, a .368 percentage with runners on. So this is another opportunity for them to score, and obviously that is what you want.
As Kasich drives that one back, it's deep, it's at the fence, it's a walk-off home run from Michael Kasich. Oh my Lanta, that's exactly what you want. The Cougars are clearing the dugout. They are fired up. Michael Kasich secures this one for the Cougars. What a way to end. Oh my goodness, Michael Kasich. Cougars win in the walk-off. It doesn't get better than that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thunderdome.
I mean, I think we just kind of spelled it out right there to finish it off. Kasich known for really coming up in those big moments. He's been having, a decent day at the plate, but not really what we usually see out of him. And he just took that ball and absolutely rocketed it to Division Street. Probably hitting a car or two on the way out with how hard he hit it, but that is exactly what the Cougars called for. A 13-12 win for them over the Stars in Game 1 of this doubleheader.
Wow. Michael Kasich and the rest of the Cougar squad stepping up when it was needed. So a great all-around effort from the Cougar squad to pull this win. Game 1 of 2 here. So Cougars looking to keep that momentum, as Game 2 will be coming up shortly in about 30 minutes. But a great ending here, a fairy tale ending here in River Forest. So Bryce Jones picking up his 3rd win of the season for the Cougars, as the Cougars take this first game of the Division Street rivalry. Stick around on the Cougar Sports Network for Game 2 coming up in about 30 minutes or so. But for now, I'm Kayla McLeod, joined by my Assistant Director of Athletic Communications, Sydney Pulaskis-Laher, our fantastic student workers producing today, Sydney Lloyd and Leela Scott, as we get ready for Game 2 coming up in about 30 minutes. We'll see you shortly on the Cougar Sports Network.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Concordia University Chicago Cougars Athletics broadcast. We hope to see you on campus very soon. If you would like to learn more about what Concordia Chicago has to offer, go to cuchicago.edu.